Before we get into the video, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you're new. Now let's begin. January. You keep getting into relationships where there are inconsistencies. One day, your partner will provide you with everything you need and more. But other days, they will ignore you and make you question whether you matter to them at all. It's always back and forth, up and down. You're getting way too many mixed signals. February. You keep getting into relationships where the communication could use work. Your partners rarely fill you in on where they're going and what they're doing when you aren't around. They dodge questions, keep secrets, and maybe even lie. The only time you get answers is when you pull the truth out of them, which should never be the case. They should communicate with you openly and honestly. March. Either way, you're never entirely comfortable because it feels like they might leave at any moment. April. You keep getting into relationships where the label isn't entirely clear. Your partners refuse to comment on what you mean to them and give you vague answers about whether it's a relationship or not. They make you confused about where you stand with them because they insist they really like you but hesitate to commit to you. May. You keep getting into relationships where you're given too many rules to follow. Your partners act hypocritical, telling you that it's disrespectful to do certain things that they are doing all the time. They don't hold themselves to the same standards they hold you to. They act like they can do whatever they want without consequence, but you need to obey, which is BS. June. You keep getting into relationships where no accountability is taken. Your partners never apologize for how they're treating you. They never own up to the mistakes they've made and place the blame on everyone else. They are too immature to take a look in the mirror and challenge themselves to grow. July. You keep getting into relationships where you're getting bossed around by the other person. Instead of coming to conclusions together and talking it through as a team, they try to order you around. They expect you to do everything they say without complaint, but that's not what a healthy relationship entails. August. You keep getting into relationships where boundaries are disrespected. When you say no, you don't need an explanation. Your partner should respect you enough to listen. They shouldn't pressure you to change your mind or send you on guilt trips. They shouldn't be manipulating you into changing your mind the way they have been. September. You keep getting into relationships where you're the one doing all the work and the other person is barely putting in any effort. The situation ends up one-sided even though you should both be contributing a fairly equal amount. This either ends with you resenting them or growing self-conscious, wondering why they never seem to care as much as you do. October. You keep getting into relationships where your emotions are invalidated. Your partners never take your feelings seriously and accuse you of overreacting in order to disregard your concerns. They couldn't care less about how you're feeling, but instead of admitting that out loud, they try to make it sound like you are the problem for oversharing or being overdramatic. November. You keep getting into relationships where your body is valued more than your mind. Your partners act like the only thing they care about is what you can do for them in the bedroom. They don't seem interested in talking to you and hearing your thoughts unless they think they're getting something out of it. They don't value your mind, which is the most beautiful part of you. December. You keep getting into relationships where your effort is taken for granted. Your partners rarely thank you for all the hard work you put into the relationship. They act like they're owed your time and attention, which is never the case. They don't recognize how lucky they are to have someone who does as much as you do on a consistent basis.